Hello, friends. Welcome back to the Triforce Podcast. This is a mailbag episode. I hope you're ready. Right,
I'm
let's
ready.
get right into it. I bet you've gotten this email at least 4 times. The Blades of Glory style curling movie Sips was thinking of is called Men with Brooms.
Men with Brooms.
And it's called, it features a scrappy Canadian underdog team that has to face down a flamboyant American team.
I knew
curling.
there was a curling movie out there somewhere. There you go.
Right.
There you go.
There you go. That's my... I knew it.
Straight out of the gate with a good correction.
Great. Thank
got
you.
Leslie Nielsen in it.
Oh,
Has he really?
There you go.
Yeah.
He was-
He's someone's dad, I think, probably.
You know, it's funny. His whole career was just based around being a straight guy, like the straight man who was actually being funny.
He was so funny, though. He was so good at it. It was very funny.
The reason that they got him to do Airplane in the first place was because he'd always played these very sort of stiff, very formal characters. Turns out he was a comedic, he was brilliant at comedic timing and all. He was a great comic actor, but he never would have been.
Hey, listen,
Playing
before
it really straight.
just speaking of people who were once famous and now gone, have you guys seen the Pee Wee Herman documentary?
What? He's not dead, is he?
Pee Wee as himself. Yeah, he died a couple of years ago.
Oh shit! Did he really? God, I fucking missed that.
Yeah. If you want to see an interesting documentary, it's 2 parts. It's all about his life, rise to fame, controversies.
I loved Pee Wee Herman. I know he was a bit of a, he masturbated in public theaters and stuff. But geez, if that's the worst, who hasn't been caught having a wank?
Well,
in the local city.
It's so innocent, isn't it?
Me, my arm is up in the air right now. I've never been caught.
Oh no, that's true. We've never been caught.
I'm not saying I don't do it. I'm just saying nobody's ever caught me doing it, which is another thing entirely. No,
Indeed.
it's interesting. If you haven't seen it, Pee Wee as himself, I recommend it. It's really good, really interesting. Especially if you have some nostalgia for the Pee Wee Playhouse show, which I used to watch when I was a kid.
It was such a good show. It was
and
honestly
the movies,
so good.
Pee Wee's Big Adventure was Tim Burton's big first movie,
really,
as well, which is interesting.
I love that
too.
movie as well.
It was really
Pee Wee
good.
Herman in the 80s was like, if you haven't heard of him, you go look it up. It seems weird. It was genuinely, you'd never seen a kids TV show like it.
It was mad,
so bizarre and funny and just utterly crazy. And I can't believe it got made.
That's really interesting. Yeah, I mean, it started as they did it. It was like a series of plays that they did with an improv group in LA. He was big into. He used to be really good friends with Phil Hartman as well. Phil Hartman was originally one of the characters in the Pee Wee sort of stage show that they used to do locally for 100 people at midnight on a Saturday night or whatever. And then it just gained momentum from there and got really, really big. It became like a cult thing. And then they said, do you want to make a movie? Do you want to make a TV show or whatever? And he was like, yeah, sure. He just ran with it. It was really interesting. Can you believe
this? But the Pee Wee Herman debuted in 1979.
Yeah, that's like that's what I'm saying. The stage show was really early on.
That was on
and then the show,
Dating Game.
It was 1986. Yeah, he went on. So it was like a persona that he created for this show, and he would go on to news radio shows as Pee Wee Herman. He went on the dating show as Pee Wee Herman. It was just, he was he liked being he liked doing that. He was very artistic. He liked doing all the,
Yeah, I think he was brilliant.
Yeah, it's really good.
Speaking of Pee Wee Herman, here's a follow-up email. Triforce, the straightest guy you know, which is obviously not Paul Rubens. Hey, Period, long-time listener, first-time mailbagger. I was listening to the podcast on the train and was cracking up as Sips talking about the straightest guy he could think of with the builders in his house. It reminded me of a reality TV show called Playing It Straight from the early 2000s, where a mix of gay and straight men entered a dude ranch and competed to woo a lady. Each week, she would eliminate who she thought was gay, as they were not in it for love, and would get a cash prize if she was right. And she ended up picking the straight guy. It was very much of its time, very much so, and has aged pretty poorly, as you can imagine. But there is a somewhat nice silver lining of one of the final men being the most obviously straight, turning out to be gay and going on the show to challenge stereotypes. Do you have any guilty pleasure TV shows or shows that haven't aged well? Touch the Truck always struck me as something that you wouldn't get made nowadays. And of course, its sequel, Touch the Kids. But it was a long time ago. Back then, that kind of thing just happened. Nowadays,
we were talking about Little Britain the other day in chat while I was streaming, and that's one that has not aged very well at all.
I hated it at the time, and now now, looking back, I despise it.
I at the time, some of it I found very funny, but it's just such a weird time. I feel like, for me, I don't know if this is correct or not, but I feel like that was like one of the last sort of big mainstream shows that was on before we had a lot of like political correctness and, canceling people and all that kind of stuff. I feel like that was like maybe the last show. Not that I look back and think like, oh, I wish we could go back to those days, because when you look back on a lot of the humor and the jokes, some of it is just dire. Like it has not aged well at all.
It's just weird.
But at the time, I remember some of it being very funny. Like I just I don't know. Some of it was very like simplistic and whatever. But yeah, for me that's a huge like hasn't aged well show.
No,
I'm sure a lot of people feel the same.
It was so heavily sort of catchphrase. Like I've watched like a handful of bits of episodes because I never liked it. But people loved a catchphrase and a repeated sketch. Computer says no. Wasn't that one of them? That's still a thing that people say, which was just a sketch where a guy is, I don't know, he's working in various places and someone asks a question and they tap it and they go, computer says no. So that was it. And it was like, what? How is that a fucking sketch that gets into everybody's brains? It's so bizarre. Oh my god.
I don't know. It's like I said, like
you can never predict it.
Some of it I found like not too bad, and then some of it.
I think the truck genre was a big deal. This is where you had to hold on to something for as long as you possibly could. It died in the wake of that woman who died holding a Wii for a Wii or whatever. Do you remember this?
It was like it was like the Stephen King adaptation that's about to come out called The Long Walk, where people just have to walk at a certain pace and last man standing wins $1 billion or whatever. It was one of his Richard Bachman novellas back in the day, and now they've adapted it. And I mean, it's pretty amazing they decided to make a movie about this because it's quite a short story, and it's literally just a bunch of lads walking. And if they lag behind for too long, they get shot. Like that's.
It feels like people
setup.
have been a lot more creative with that in things like Squid Game.
Right.
And even like Mr. Beast's fucking, I hate to say it, he's brought this shit back. Remember with like how I'm sure he did a similar thing where he had like YouTubers competing for how long they could stay in a hot tub or some shit. I don't know. Who knows?
It's just semi-dangerous stuff that eventually someone will die doing, and we'll move on again, and then it'll come back around.
Well, it doesn't sound that dangerous. That's the thing. No. Like touching a truck doesn't sound dangerous, or holding your Wii doesn't sound dangerous. And it was never advertised as such, right? It was never promoted as it was
holding
like an endurance,
your Wii for a week.
It was like an endurance sport that an average person could say, I could do that. I could stay up all night touching a truck. I could hold my Wii for ages.
Yeah, but why not just do
like
be
on this show?
If you think you could do just like go on Takeshi's Castle or something, like that's fine. You're probably not going to die on that. It's a good format. Just go on something like that,
right? You have these people who you get everyone around. You just film them all. Some of them drop out immediately, and then there's one or two people who just stay on for ages, and then they argue with each other, and they. And that's it. You create a little bit of it's lazy. Reality TV was so alluring because it was unscripted, unpredictable, real in a sense. Like it was. If you film for long enough, something interesting happens. Because you've got a bunch of weirdos together. You've deliberately picked the weirdest people who applied. You know.
Yeah.
And that's what you get. This is how all these things still go today. Anyway, let's get on with the mailbag.
Okay. I'm sorry. Ooh. Lewis and Sip's dream controversy.
Right.
Don't worry. It's not. This is not going in the direction you immediately imagined that it would. Okay?
Do you know what? I'm pretty open. I'm pretty loose. I haven't considered where this is going. I'm intrigued though.
Okay. I was having a dream the other day where I was driving my partner to work. Usually I like to leave music on, but my partner has been enjoying the podcast, so I'll play that in the car. Anyway, as I was taking a turn in my dream, the podcast was finishing up. You'd said something I can't remember, but afterwards, Sips dropped the N-word with the hardest R I have ever heard.
Whoa.
I can still hear him saying it in my head. Lewis immediately busted into laughter, finding the whole thing hilarious. You didn't respond. My partner covered their mouth in shock. I don't remember anything else from the dream other than Sip's rampant racism and the podcast editor's refusal to remove it. Thanks, Brian.
Wow.
Gosh, Brian.
So that was one of the earlier episodes. It was a different time.
Yeah, we've settled into a groove now. We edit our
times were
racism.
different back then. It was It was the heady days of 2017.
Well, it was
yeah,
2010
Little Britain was still on TV, and it was cool to be racist back then, but things have changed a lot now. So.
It was a different era. Trump was in charge. Oh,
wait. Wait, in 20? Oh yeah, of course. In 2018, were you talking about 2018?
Was the first
2016, yeah.
And we started, I think, in 2017. I would say.
Did we actually start in 2017?
It was a different era. It was a different era.
Look. I will tell you.
We were allowed to say whatever we wanted about anyone.
Triforce podcast. Triforce sort by videos.
This has been looked for before. The first Triforce podcast episode, titled "Sell Your Kids," was released on March 23rd, 2016.
Yeah, so 2016. Sorry. So in fact, he had just been. He'd just been elected because it was 2016. So he would have been confirmed as president in January.
Hey, listen. Here are some details about the first episode. Title: Sell Your Kids. Date: Wednesday, March 23rd, 2016. Content: the host discussed what to name the podcast and the best ways to raise children.
There you go.
We started off with a bang. Yeah.
I mean, 9 years ago, I had a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old. And now I have a 16-year-old and a 13-year-old. So
well,
really,
that's very different.
In 2016,
they're still going,
I had.
So you should take whatever advice I had in that episode. Apparently, it got them thus far.
Yeah, I had a 5-year-old and a 1-year-old, and now I got a 13-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 4-year-old. So
wow.
I know.
All right, moving on. American Pilot. This is from an American pilot, believe it or not. Hello, I'm in the US.
I can't believe it.
I know, and I'm a pilot, and I've been listening to you guys since the beginning. Thanks for keeping me entertained on long flights and layovers. In the most recent episode, you guys discussed why planes don't go faster from A to B than they usually do, since they apparently are able to. Remember that? They're like, we'll make up the time and blah, blah, blah. The answer comes down 99.9% to fuel. Planes have a sweet spot in the power setting and altitude and speed to get the maximum fuel efficiency possible. Usually they can push it to get up an extra bit of speed at the cost of a much higher fuel burn. Pyrian had mentioned ATC routing as being a big cause when in certain cases can be true, but overall, at least in America, ATC, that's air traffic control for you groundlings, does not give a single shit if you are late. You can, as a pilot, request more direct routing, and about 50% of the time they'll grant it, but they very rarely volunteer it upon you unprompted. As for the corridors into airports, at least in America, you have procedures called Standard Terminal Arrival Routes, or STARS. These to send you down out of the high-altitude cruise down to an altitude to intercept an approach system, either GPS or ground-based, ILS, or visual. These can never be skipped to save time. You can, however, skip ahead in the sequence if you're low on fuel or in an emergency, but being late is not a valid reason. Also, SIPs asked if they carry extra fuel. Yes, usually enough to get to the airport to the furthest field alternate airport, and then an extra 45 minutes of cruising fuel. Sorry for the email. I tried to keep it simple. But
no, that's interesting. Thanks.
That's
we did ask.
Email.
We did ask. We wanted to know.
Lovely picture of a cockpit that he sent here. Would you like to see it?
Yes, please.
All right, I'll pop it in the Discord.
That is an interesting formula. So the fuel they carry is enough to get to the destination plus the nearest alternate airport plus 45 minutes.
That's if I've read his email correctly.
Good to know.
I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
like you ever had? that is very impressive.
That's a nice cockpit.
That's a nice huge cockpit.
Nice cockpit.
It looks like very comfy chairs too.
Man,
I would be shitting myself if I had to fly a plane. I knew there was like 200 people on it or something.
Nah, you can't see them.
Yeah, but even then I would know. I would have like some awareness that I was responsible. You know what I mean? Like it would crush me.
I bet that goes out of your mind very quickly. First time, I bet you shit yourself. And after that, you just...
The thing is, a lot of it is because they do so much training. I think a lot of it must just be like, I want to say muscle memory. I don't know if it is actually muscle memory, but you know what I mean? Like they're very familiar with what they're doing. So maybe they don't think about it that much. I still think you probably have to concentrate a lot though. You gotta have your wits about you, especially if something, God forbid, goes wrong when you're up there. Jesus
Look at those
Christ.
Seats. So those seats are really plush.
I know.
Yeah, they've got, let me just describe it. They look so cushiony and plushy, but they're shaped like a U shape, almost like a toilet seat. They've got a big gap in the middle where I guess your is that where the eject fucking lever is or some shit behind between
That's
the seat?
exactly what it's called as well. There's a label above it that says the eject fucking lever.
Wait, so do you mean the white thing in the middle?
No, I meant between your legs. What's between your legs? Why is there like a V?
That's like the manual flight
That
stick.
looks like a microphone or something. It looks
That-
like it's
that-
on
that's-
it's
is
on a
that
lead.
where-
if they need to manually
pull up real
control
far.
or pull up or something like that, they
you
use
have to
that
like
thing.
shimmy backwards
I
to
don't
like
know.
get it
There's
between
probably
your legs.
like a little button on the bottom of the seat that slides it backwards. Like
Wait,
like
do you
if
mean the
you're in a
thing that
car.
has 2000 LXS and a circle in the middle? Is that what you're talking about?
I'm talking about this. You look at the seat and why it has such a huge cut out of it.
For their big cocks to dangle down. What do
Right,
you
Yeah,
yes,
think?
it's for their
pilots
giant
are known.
pilots.
For
They're
their,
known.
for their, it's not called the cockpit for no
Exactly.
reason.
Exactly.
Get on with it. Next.
Okay. All right. This
Fucking
is an email from Will. On the most recent episode of the Triforce Mailbag, you mentioned a story about a Hooters waitress selling her underwear.
Yeah.
Attached are screenshots of a time a random gentleman on Facebook messaged me after I posted in a student page. Also for reference, so he's given me photos of the conversation that he had with this guy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read the left-hand side of the conversation, and Sips, I'd like you to read the right-hand side of the conversation. Do you understand?
Roger.
It's like
Yeah.
a reenactment
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me paste these in sequence
of an online chat.
Okay. I've got the first one.
Wait.
open.
Let me get these in order before we.
Oh, right. There's multiple pages.
Yeah, this is. It's not that long.
So you're reading the left and I'm reading the right side.
Yeah,
that's
that's
like
right.
bluish purple.
You're
That's
gonna
left.
you're gonna read the blue side, and I'll read the grey side.
Okay.
Let me see. Hold on. You can cut all this, by the way. Sorry.
No, you should leave it in. And also, let's make sure that there's some context so that we can't have this conversation clipped out of context and people actually think that we have this conversation, or
That's
maybe use a
true.
different voice or something. Because we live.
I
in
don't think that's a concern. And if it is,
Well,
we'll
I'm just
it's great.
saying, you never know, especially if it's like a little bit on the. I mean, I guess we probably have talked about.
So this is a real listener.
So yes, just for context of what this is, Will was messaged on Facebook Messenger, and this is the email, the series of conversations that he had.
Okay. Well,
And
let's
Will is
don't
just
tell
a
me
very
anymore.
ordinary looking lad.
Okay,
All right.
Will,
All right.
just
I'll
a normal
start.
guy.
I'll start.
do the first
Yo,
one. Hello.
You good, bro? Sorry for the random message.
Yeah, good. Can I help you with anything?
Maybe. Kind of wanted to ask you something a bit weird, crying smiley face.
Go on.
Are you in the Cardiff area?
Yeah, why?
Okay, I'll ask you, but no judgment, yeah? Because it's proper weird, crying laughing face, lol. And don't be a dick about it. And like, if it's just no, say in it, and we can move on with our days, lol.
Just ask what you want to ask.
Would you meet me and sell me your socks?
Why?
That's a very broad question, laughing crying face.
I'm very unlikely to sell you my socks for whatever reason. Is this a society thing?
No. More of a personal thing.
Explain?
Don't worry about it, bro. If you're not down, then you're not down. No point in me embarrassing myself further, crying laughing face.
Why did you choose to message me? But also, I never said no, just curious.
Because I thought you looked hot, crying laughing face.
How much would you pay for my socks?
It's more of a small but fairly regular thing, cash-wise. Usually do about £30-40 a time.
Why don't you just buy socks?
Well, it's not really about the socks, is it, crying laughing face?
I'm probably gonna have to say no, mate. Hopefully you find someone else, though.
Oh,
And that's it. Now, that is, in all honesty, first of all, the lad approaching him is trying to save face and make out like it's no big deal, but he
Yeah.
clearly has a thing for using fellas' socks for whatever. I mean, he's probably a gay lad who's into feet or smelly feet or socks or whatever. No problemo. But just messaging someone out of nowhere, having this awkward conversation. Oh my God, you must be so into socks if you're willing
Okay.
to expose yourself in this way. That is, I mean, honestly, that's embarrassing.
Okay,
But
so
very funny.
is it basically a pair of socks per day?
Mm.
Are we talking
I
about?
don't know. I don't think so.
I don't know if you need a new one every day. Well, I mean, an old one
Okay,
every day. You want
but-
like an old. You could probably get away with it for a week or two before the stink, gets out or whatever. I don't know.
Okay, so if he's paying
Do you get
30 to
bored?
40 quid every time for a pair of
Yeah.
socks,
Yeah.
right? That's insane. Even if that was like, say, 3 times a week, 120 quid, you can buy close mate these are women's Okay, Soxy, 12 pairs men's cotton-rich sports socks.
No, but mate,
Okay,
it's not.
Sips.
For
But it's
12
not
pairs,
about the.
£9.49. The profits are insane.
It's not really
on
about
this.
socks, is it?
No, he literally says it's not really about the socks. Because that's one of the questions that's asked is, why don't you just buy socks? It's not about the socks.
Man, if somebody's saying to me, I will buy your socks for 40 quid, I am saying yes, like immediately. Like
Right.
that's too good of a deal to pass up.
I'm not kidding. I think there are quite a few people out there who would pay good money for Sips' socks.
The
You
only
could probably
thing-
start an online store.
Okay, do you know, in all of this, the thing that puts me off the most is not so much that somebody wants to be weird with my socks. The only thing that would put me off this is the effort I'd have to go to package them up and then post them.
That's what's putting you off.
That's what would put me off. Like if I could just put them in a container at the end of my driveway, I'm up for it. I'll do it. Let's go.
What the hell? Yeah,
Honey, did you put my socks out? The sock men come today. Oh,
That's a big moneymaker. That's all of our income
That's
right
how
now.
we pay
Make
the
sure you don't
bills.
forget. Yeah.
this is like a side business that goes around picking up dirty socks from everyone's houses and selling them online. But the thing is, here's the thing, right? They want that. It's the person. It's
Yes,
clearly
it's-
him.
it's
like
entirely
you're
about
attractive.
that.
I fancy you.
Yeah,
Right.
therefore
But
I want your
don't.
socks.
But my weird thing is just I don't want to have sex with you or anything. I just want to look at your Facebook pictures while I smell your stinky socks.
Right,
and,
exactly.
and-
Yeah, but
and jerk
okay,
off.
what
But
if
I
you?
mean, it's also
all right.
this is a thing with trainers like shoes, sneakers, right? Is that you see a lot of those for sale on eBay, and there's always like a biography to go with the sock.
Exactly,
And
it's the story.
It's always like this sock belonged to a young sort of chavvy lad who would like to go out with his mates, and he dressed like this, and that's like the fetish is the story
that's
behind
making me
the sock.
hot.
That's
I know
really
that is
weird.
hot.
Okay, think of somebody, a celebrity that you find really attractive. Okay, like you,
I'm there.
Pee Wee Herman.
Pee Wee Herman. Okay,
Herman.
all right. Imagine you
The
you have
girl
like
who Pee Wee Herman fancied in the Pee Wee Herman movies when he looks at her tits
in
and
Big
it goes,
Top Pee Wee
"Ding!"
when they
It
had
goes,
that
"Ding!" like a diamond.
when they had that really long kissing scene in Big Top
Yeah.
Pee Wee. She
I've
played
Googled Pee Wee
Ramona
Herman
in Hot
lady.
Shots as well, if you remember. She was kind of in everything for a little while in the late
Pee Wee
80s.
Herman, hot woman. Miss Yvonne? No.
No,
Miss Yvonne.
Miss Yvonne is in the show.
Girl yeah, she was like the 1950s girl next door. Was this in Pee Wee Herman's Big Top?
Yeah, Big Top Pee Wee. She's the love interest in Big Top Pee Wee, but she's been in loads
Valeria Galino. Yes,
she's been
yes.
in loads
Yeah,
of
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
She
yeah,
was
yeah.
she
She's
was
fucking great.
the woman in Hot Shots as well.
Oh my god,
opposite
she was so beautiful.
Charlie
she was just
Sheen.
the most beautiful, exotic creature.
So you think she's beautiful and you have a big crush on her and you think
Yeah.
the next evolution in your fascination of this woman is you want to have a pair of her underpants delivered to you so that you can smell them and
Are they
probably jerk off
definitely
to them a lot.
hers?
Okay, what if it arrives in the mail, the parcel arrives, and it's like in like floppy packaging, and you're like, yeah, I know exactly what this is, and you're getting all revved up. You're like, man, I can't wait. I'm gonna open this package up. You open up the package, and there they are, a pair of underpants in like a Ziploc bag, and you're like, oh, great, I can't wait to pop open this Ziploc bag and get started. And you pop open the Ziploc bag, and you're just like, wow, like
Oh my god.
my god, like it blows your head off. It fucking stinks. Like it just stinks like fucking eggs or like some fucking rotten fish or some shit. Like you would change your mind immediately, right? Like there's no way. Like it would be the worst. Like
Yeah, do you know what? That's like you're browsing for like, some big tits or something, and then you accidentally see some really, really big tits, and you're like, oh, I don't like this anymore.
What are you talking about?
Flax doesn't stop at that point.
When has that ever happened?
Flax likes them comically
Yeah.
large. He
Got
likes
that,
them
like-
real
like-
big.
I'm like, oh, those are looking like she's injured herself there. That's not, that must be a real burden to carry those around, and suddenly it's like you're out of it, And so, yes, Sips, I imagine it's very similar.
You could so
Right.
easily have a really bad experience there.
Oh, I'm
Like
sure
I
you
don't think
could.
it's worth the risk, honestly.
But hey,
Like,
you can have bad experiences. Just go into the shop. You know what I mean?
We don't
if somebody had a
understand.
pair of my socks, like they fucking stink. They must.
Yeah, you wouldn't want Mars socks. All right, Triforce.
God bless that lad for taking his shot.
Yeah, he took a
Man-eating
shot.
animals takes his shot right into the sock. I tell you that much. Man-eating animals. A while
There's
ago.
already some in there if you're getting mine.
Oh no! Stop it!
Oh, that's an extra tenner. Oh yeah. A while ago, you discussed the deadliest animals on the Triforce, e.g., mosquitoes killing 1 million people annually. Recently, I was reading about a related topic you might all find interesting, which is the deadliest individual animals. So these are named animals, okay? Not just species, but these are like, this is an animal, one animal.
Adolf Hitler.
Like Adolf, but in animal form. Animal Hitler, all right?
Right.
Animal Hitler.
The Champawat tiger, a tigress that killed about 200 people in Nepal before being driven into India, where it brought its death toll to 436.
What are you talking about?
It was
unleashed
tracked.
A
Yeah,
man
no, they
hunting
just tried to drive it off. This is just a tiger.
into another country?
Yeah, they drove it into India, and then it carried on its spree of
I'm
killing.
surprised that didn't cause an international incident. Like,
Well, it was
they
tracked
must have.
by a hunter following the trail of blood from its last victim and killed in 1907, the Champawat
Jesus.
tiger. The Tsavo man-eaters, a famous pair of lions from Uganda that killed dozens of people and inspired the movie The Ghost and the Darkness. That's pretty cool.
God, that would be an awful way to go out. You imagine
Gustav the crocodile that killed over 100 people in Burundi and is possibly still around. Don't say he's not. If you misbehave, Gustav the crocodile will come and pay you a visit.
I'm just
Wait,
crocodile
before
death
you
would be
spoil this with
nasty as
logic
well.
and facts, just let me read about the beast of Gavadian, a beast, possibly a large wolf, in 17th century France that killed over 100 people. The King of France and local nobility were involved in raising expeditions to track down and kill the beast. It's not known exactly what the beast was, and it might have been multiple large wolves. Despite royal expenditure, they were eventually killed by Marie-Jeanne Vallet, the Maid of Gévaudoin, who speared the beast when it attacked her, and Jean Castel, a local hunter.
I feel like a lot of this is maybe has maybe gone in towards the fairy tale of Beauty and the Beast. Like it all seems like very
Beauty and
it's very French, and there's a lot of like hunters and like big macho men involved and stuff. Like there's got to be some inspiration for Beauty and the Beast in there somewhere, maybe.
Wow.
Don't ruin it, Lewis. Though all of those things are true and happened.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, this is the world we live in now.
Yeah, thank you. All right, this is from Joseph Morris. This is Metal Mailbag. All right, this is a metal mailbag song. I've popped it in.
It'd be heavy to carry it around.
Hey! All right, we're gonna play this. Ready? In 3, 2, 1, play.
It's the mailbag.
Oh, nice.
Oh, we should have opened with this.
Also the Triforce podcast.
It almost sounds a bit grungy.
Mailbag. Lewis Simpson, period flux.
Yeah, it's like
I hope you like people talking about nothing important.
Oh, like the kick pedal kind of makes it sound less so, but the first bit sounds like a Melvin song.
I like
Not
it.
the voice so much, though.
Thanks, guys. I really like you guys a lot. I listen to you all the time. Thank you.
Okay, great. No, nice,
Thanks, guys. I really like you guys a lot.
Hey, guys.
Thank you, Joseph.
Thanks for listening to my song, guys.
He's
I love
Canadian
that.
too.
I
He's
love
Canadian
that
too.
so much.
Oh,
honestly,
he's Canadian
I
too. Do you
fucking
know him
love
then,
that.
Sips?
Yeah,
Yeah,
great.
do you know him?
Yeah, I babysat him. My wife's running joke is anytime any Canadian person is on TV, she asks, "Did I babysit them?" And I always say, "Yeah, I did." Yeah, like it's just a long running
That's
joke.
fun.
So every Canadian person, I have babysat them at one point. I know them all. Yeah, it's one of those things.
Fair. I've got another tune. And this is, I made a quick jingle. This is a terrible song, apparently. Terrible attempt at singing. I listen to your podcast while I'm cleaning at work, and they make the time go by easier. My coworkers often ask why I'm laughing to myself.
That's good. I'm glad that somebody's laughing.
Yeah.
It's certainly not me.
No, we don't
No, it
enjoy
is.
this
I laugh a
podcast.
lot, actually.
This is from
Live, laugh, and
this
love,
is an
that's what I
intro
always
from
say.
from Tom, aka Toverhand.
9 seconds. Okay,
It's
we're not going to
9.
be able to talk over this one.
Right, are you ready?
Yeah.
3,
Yeah.
2, 1, play.
It's the Triforce Mailbag, the Triforce Mailbag, the Triforce Mailbag, Mailbag.
Very good. Very simple.
In a
Very
word,
simple.
dog shit.
I said
Come
it was
on,
9
man.
seconds. Actually, it's like 3 because it's just looped. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what?
They've-
I would struggle to. Do you know how hard it is to strum and sing at the same time? Like it's difficult. I would
I
struggle.
don't know. A lot of people can do it.
I actually, that's growing on me. Play it again. Let's do it again.
No, don't.
You can
Have a
play it as
second.
much
It's
as you
not as
want.
good.
It's right there. Yeah, that was really good.
Triforce Mailbag.
It's
Triforce
so whiny
Mailbag.
and annoying.
Triforce
You would like
Mailbag.
it, dickhead.
Mailbag.
This is
It's
from
like, it's
Rory.
good.
Shut up.
This
is
one's
from
30
Rory.
seconds long.
Brand new jingle. Are you ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, play.
Quit your bitching. It's the mailbag. Yeah.
This is more my style.
Free dads. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. It's the mailbag, and yeah, we're stacking frags. Gotta grab your Glock and load the mag. Keep your story short so they don't drag. Lewis walking around in a do-rag. Hey.
That is the worst thing I've ever heard. I'm afraid you sound like you play League of Legends, my friend. You haven't got the voice for. You can't do that.
You
I thought it was
my man's
okay.
got no flow.
It was funny
at all.
I don't know if
It
it's
was
meant
dreadful.
to be. No,
Oh, it's
come
meant
on.
to be very. He in the email here. He
It's
says
hard,
this is serious.
That's hard to do as well.
He said this is very
This
serious.
is serious. You need to.
I think
do you know what?
I wouldn't be able to do that.
I've changed my mind. I love it. I think it's
Okay.
great.
All right, well done.
Do you know how hard it is to rap over like a sick beat like that? It's
Yeah,
it's
when
tough.
you're playing it on as well. It's the do-rag, like the whole 90s
Lewis Brinley in a do-rag.
free dads. Free dads sounded like freedom.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I like that. I like that bit at the start. Yeah, it was almost like there was something beyond the music, maybe like a message, of hope
Yeah.
in this
It spoke
troubled time.
spoke directly
Indeed.
to my soul. In the
Free
ether because
dads.
I died.
Good God.
Listening to that.
This is from Harry called the Old Street Gash Man Scam.
Right.
Right, which sounds like an album.
Is this a song?
No, this is not. This is a real email.
It
Story.
sounds
from
like a
Harry.
Thank
Bob
God.
Dylan record.
Yeah, it does. The Old Street Gash Man Scam. This guy,
Old Street Gash-
Old Street is a place in London, and the Gash Man, you'll find out, has a scam related to being covered in cuts. When I first moved to London as a country
thank
bumpkin,
God.
a man approached me who claimed to have just been knocked off his bike. He was bruised and bleeding profusely all over his arms and legs. He said he needed cash for a cab to the hospital as an ambulance wouldn't take his bike and it was his only worldly possession. I gave him a tenner and asked a few questions. He had semi-plausible answers, but I was suspicious, even as a stupid village yokel. I started to hail down a cab, but he said his mum had already booked him one, and this is when the penny dropped that it was definitely a scam. I googled and found out a Reddit thread about him, and apparently the blood is real, it's not makeup, and he surgically maintains cuts and bruises and opens up a gash when he's short on cash. Crazy guy.
That is
pretty
insane.
nutty. Yeah, the sad
Wow,
part is
do you know
I don't
what,
stop
like-
for anyone now, even when most are probably just asking for directions. Look, Harry, you move to London, you get hit by scammers.
Here's the thing.
It's gonna happen.
Here's the thing. You're paying for a bit of street theatre there, right? And that's probably worth it. Like meeting, honestly, a man who this is some sort of circus shit from the Victorian times.
What was
you know
that
what I mean?
circus that was around in the 80s and 90s? It was really extreme. And there were people who would cut themselves and do all kinds of really extreme shit. I can't remember what it was called.
Ringling Brothers.
it wasn't Barnum and Bailey.
Yeah, I can't remember, but this is a thing. There definitely was more of a freak show type thing where people would do horrible things to each other. But this even seems like more extreme than that, doesn't it? I don't know. It's like you could. What I'm saying is, you're lucky that you saw that, right? Because to put on a show like that, it would normally be very illegal or frowned upon.
You
in
just
modern
you'd
society.
like to see a bit of human blood flowing for entertainment, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good that this stuff is in the shadows, like the sock industry and all this. I'm wondering, oh God, it's best not to think about it.
Indeed.
Honestly, it's best to move on.
Let's think about some of your bullshit from a previous episode, according to Charlie. Just
Me?
wanted to call Lewis out
Uh-oh.
on
Here we
episode
go.
number 302. He said his dad had a long commute into London, which isn't the case. I live in Brentwood, which is the next town along from Ongar, and the train takes 40 minutes into Liverpool Street Station. Ongar would have had a railway station back then when his dad would have commuted to London. Alternatively, he could have driven to Epping Station. Much love, Charlie.
Damn, Charlie.
So,
well, there you go, Lewis.
yeah,
what
do
do
you
you,
know
what
what?
do you
I'm
have to
looking
say
it
about
up.
that?
I'm looking it up, and the drive is according to, well, Well, he worked in two places. He worked in Enfield, which
That's
is in North
East London, yeah.
Apparently, that takes.
Wait, is he driving or taking the train?
I think he drove.
Oh, well,
so
then
actually, it looks like a 45-minute drive, which isn't as bad as I thought it was.
No.
Maybe he was just staying away.
Can I be real with you? I think he just wanted to avoid you.
I think he was just. He was
How
just,
late did he used to get home from work?
Oh,
midnight. He'd roll in at midnight.
midnight.
Oh, what a
Stinking
commute.
of
Stinking
booze.
of whiskey, lipstick on his collar.
Cigarettes.
Oh, another nightmare
Yeah.
on the tube today. Oh, didn't you drive? Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah, I
drove
tried to
down
drive
tube
onto
line.
the
What a
tube,
nightmare.
but let
Yeah,
me
I
tell
drove
you,
down the
not
tube line.
easy.
Woo, they didn't like it.
Yeah.
Question about how the Yogscast grew and took on new members.
Oh.
Longer version. I'll try to keep it short. How have we recruited new members over the years? That's the
When was
question.
the last time we
Is
recruited
that
a new member?
asking who?
Asking, let's say Lulu. You started off. How did you acquire new people into the Yogscast? Because we've had a bunch of new people in the last.
It's the same
10
approach
years.
I've had
In the last
to
10 years, but there
girlfriends.
hasn't been any new people like recently, I would say.
Exactly.
I don't know if that's true. How recently is recently?
Well, like in the last 5 years, I feel like
Are you serious?
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I could be wrong, but
Yeah, I believe you are completely wrong.
I think the people who've joined most recently are probably Sophie, Miss Cupcakes, and
how long ago did she? I didn't even realize
she's-
she joined. I just did a thing with her the
Well,
other night.
She's not. Well,
A
you know,
brand
the thing is,
A brand thing.
the thing is, she's not.
A live brand thing.
There's no official Yogscast. Thing is, right? Yogscast back in the day, the Yogscast was obviously just me and Simon and our friends, and it was very easy for them to.
But Duncan's been
sort
around
of-
since the start. He used to do like
It was.
he used to do like a
the
lot of like
idea-
behind the scenes stuff for you guys.
Well, exactly. And the idea was that we'd have this sort of more group family approach to it, where we could all sort of capitalize. Because the thing is, if we had a huge audience back in the day because of the way YouTube worked, and it was largely undeserved, and a lot of the people were watching us and didn't like it or didn't understand it, or we weren't for them,
Yeah.
or they wanted to watch something else or someone else. And that's why having a broader selection of people. Films is quite different in their comedy and their vibe, and so is Duncan, and so is Sips. You know, having a broader group of people allowed our audience to be retained better, right? Rather than just the Lewis and Simon fans. It was beneficial to everyone, right? Whereas I think the Yogscast these days is not necessarily attracting new audience and hasn't been a draw for a long time. And in a sense, I'm more concerned that it's okay. Think of it like a K-pop band, right? Like, these K-pop bands, the way they work is they are very manufactured, but also if someone is to join or leave, it's a big celebration and the way they actually do it is they are very careful when people leave because it can be very dramatic. It's
Yeah.
like, so if someone says, I'm leaving the Yogscast, that sounds so dramatic.
It does, yeah.
It's like, oh, why did you fall out? Like, and they can get millions of views from that type of video. Do you see what I mean? Like almost as if, and it feels very negative, right? And so if you have someone saying, oh, I'm leaving a K-pop band, everyone thinks, oh, what did they do? And it's very dramatic. So the way these K-pop bands do it is they say, you've graduated. Congratulations. You're going on to better things now. We've trained you. We've had it, you're prepared for your solo career. It's like, and we've done that for you kind of thing. It's very strange and different. And so I've really shied away in the last 10 years from inviting people to the Yogscast or making a big fuss about people joining the Yogscast or not, partly because we have so many people who are closely associated with us, who do loads of things with us and are in everything and a lot of things we do and are basically like Yogscast members in all but name or officialdom. So
would you
I
say
think it's
that
changed.
I'm in the Yogscast?
I think yes.
Well, you're
But
like
that's
in,
what
if you're in like the
Reluctantly.
wider
So you're
sort
saying
of
that reluctantly.
friendship group. I think everybody that is pretty much. I feel like anyone that does stuff with us that we record occasionally with or stream with occasionally could be considered like unofficial members.
There's a lot
I
of
guess.
people that we are friends with on the fringe, like Potato McWhiskey or Spiff or Dan RT Game or Simon Clark. All these people, they contribute to Jingle Jam.
Yeah.
they're really close friends of ours. We love to see them, and they love hanging out with us. I'm personally friends with these people. Then none of them, I think, would necessarily even want to say they were in the Yogscast. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, they're officially not. Like they're part of other networks or whatever.
Exactly. So someone more recent like Sophie, it's hard for me to say you're in the Yogscast, but I think what that means nowadays is that you are cooperating with us on projects and working more closely with us. I
don't think it means what it used to either. I mean, like when we were all doing Tech It and stuff like that, which I would say was probably like our peak. Well, certainly the main channels was like peak, but like all of us really, like that was those were like the biggest times for us or whatever. It probably meant something different, right? If you were joining the Yogscast, like, oh, I'm officially part of the Yogscast, because we were much bigger then. But like now, I don't know if it's like that big of a deal to be.
Well, this is it. I think Sips is a great example of this, where Sips sort of isn't really part of the Yogscast anymore. I think you, in fact, Pirin, are more closely associated with the Yogscast than Sips is.
Well, am I kicked out? What the hell?
Yeah, you're out, bud.
It's funny though. Like it is like it's not that we it's changed.
Yeah,
right. We don't really. The Yogscast is really a service company, and if you are part of the Yogscast, we're usually doing something for you.
Yeah.
And in Sips's case or your case, we're not really taking. You're not paying dues. You're not joining an association.
No,
we don't make anything.
No, we don't. We don't
right?
use any of your physical space. We don't use any any resources really.
So there's no real reason for us to get a kickback, which means you're not technically in the Yogscast. Do you see what I mean? So it's like, I don't know, it feels like, but you are, because you clearly have been for ages.
We're like honorary members, I guess, now.
It's a strange blanket term. Even I'm not sure, as the person who runs the fucking thing, what the rules are.
Yeah.
But I think it doesn't matter. So
I think it's
great question.
I think it's always just been a kind of like almost like a friendship community thing, right? Through games. Like a lot of us have all played games together, and not necessarily all of us together at the same time, but there's little groups of people that overlap with each other, and something comes along, like when it wasn't WoW, it was like tons of us played like Marvel Rivals more recently or something. There's always something that comes around that gets a bunch of people together again. But
I tell you what,
you
it
have
really
these people on hand ready to go. Like I can get in touch with Xylus and be like, oh shit, have you seen this? Yeah, let's play, and we'll play. And then like 20 other people play with us for like 2 weeks, and then we're done.
The Yogscast is like a loose association of avant-garde artists
from
around the world who come together to create art using feces, urine,
mostly,
and other bodily
excretions. No, so I think it is a complementary group of social people who want to be friends with each other and want to interact. And I think that you have to be, in order to be involved, you really have to want to do it. And so someone like Sophie coming in and very proactively saying, I love your content. Can I be in it? I think I could enhance it. Here's the ways that I can, here's the things I can do. And just being interested, turning up, like wanting to do stuff is powerful. And we do meet new people that we get on with, like No Rolls Barred lately. They're really great people, and they've been collaborating with us on Mystery Quest and some of the potentially Games Night, other overlapping like friends and groups.
Yeah.
And it's not that we're not meeting new people, it's just that we're not. I don't think it's the time to have a clan. No, necessarily.
It's very. I've always found it very organic, though. Like people that join you're not forced to do anything with anybody. Like I've never been asked to sort of say, no, do this with this person or whatever. People join and you find each other and, you click or whatever. Like I didn't know Hat Films before they joined. I had no idea who they were. Even after they joined for months, I didn't know who they were. I didn't watch any of their stuff or whatever. And then we just met up one day and we just clicked and did a lot of stuff together.
Yeah,
you know what
exactly.
I mean?
And you haven't probably seen them in real life for about 5 years.
It's been a while, yeah.
But you still, we
have that rapport,
with them every so often.
We can just jump in and pick up where we left off. And it's like old friends, it's good.
Talking about the Yogscast more generally, I think I always say this, like the reason the Yogscast is still going is because of Jingle Jam. And like it's a big driver of why I still care about it and turn up every day and put the effort in, because it is
a big annual get together, which is useful, isn't it?
But also supporting this and helping this family of smaller creators, who are struggling to make a living in an increasingly competitive and changing, industry. So it's tough for some of our creators, and I if we can support them, great, we will. And I think that is something we want to do. And I don't know, it's about doing good.
It's about mutual respect and love.
And sometimes writing words in feces. And sending each other.
Did I tell you guys one time I was on a trip with the Cub Scouts. We went up to London for something, probably the Imperial War Museum, because again, like I've said, it's a paramilitary training organization. We all know that.
The Scouts.
Yes, and
this was the Cub Scouts, especially the one for 8 to 10 year olds. You got to
start them young. So as we're coming up, we stop at a service station. We all go into the toilet, and someone has written shit on the wall. And the whole room stank. I'd never seen anything like it. And it was genuinely quite scary to know that there were people, adults, out there in the world who would write the word shit in their own shit on a wall in a public bathroom. Pretty crazy. Let's move it on. This is from Jared.
Okay.
I was listening to a recent Triforce, and I think it's great.
We're not going to dwell on that moment.
I think it's great that you're teaching your kids to be street smart and independent in big city London.
Like you learned. See, you learned to be street smart and independent from that moment. That opened up your eyes and took off the blinkers of childhood and the innocence. It all went away on that trip to the Imperial War Museum.
I know, it really did.
That was shocking.
I saw some negative comments.
That's when you lost your hair.
About the fact that I let my kids go into town and stuff by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you think being a parent is, but if you want to follow your kids around forever, they will never be able to do anything on their own.
No.
Ever.
And they'll resent you for it too.
I assume you're not a parent if you're making that comment. Keep your fucking ignorance to yourself, please. How about that?
This mailbag goes both ways.
Oh, yeah. This is from
Dear
Jared.
person who wrote to the mailbag. Fuck you.
I don't know. I think
let me list the ways you can go fuck yourself. Number one.
I think it's safe to assume that maybe they don't have kids, but on the other hand, there are a lot of insane parents out there with kids, and you just think,
there are.
How the
This
fuck?
lad is fine. Jared is fine. All right. I'm just saying. This other person I saw. Anyway, Jared recommends a book called The Gift of Fear by Gavin DeBecker, which sounds like a horror novel, but it's not. It's about interpreting your body's natural intuition, analyzing threats, and managing stressful and high-risk situations. And do you remember I was talking about the fact that my daughter went to pick up a parcel?
Uh-huh.
Do you remember? And it was down a shady alleyway.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And every fiber of her being was saying, don't go down the alleyway. But because of social norms and a fear of embarrassing herself or the person telling her to go down the alleyway, she went down the alleyway, which she 100% should not have done. This, by the way, was on the way home from school, which is not a long walk. And she was with a mate, and it was at like a regular shop. And she ignored her instincts. And I told her very clearly, the next time this happens, listen to your instincts. They know best. And they will, those hairs go up and you think, oh, something feels wrong. Trust that vibe. Absolutely trust
yourself 100%. I think in everything as well.
If you're wrong, you're wrong. And I'll come back with you and we'll pick up the parcel together. It's not a problem. But don't just think, oh, I don't want to embarrass anybody, or I don't want to put him out.
I think you end
awkward.
up kicking
Fuck
yourself a lot more if you go against your instincts than if you trust them and it doesn't work out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely trust your instincts always.
I have an optician's appointment soon, so can we do one more email?
Yes.
I would love to hear your guys' opinions on this. This is just a simple one from Josh. We often talk about how lucky we are to be in a position that we're in and the job that we do, because obviously it's a lot of fun and everything.
Yeah.
But he wants to know if there is one downside or struggle that we face in relation to our job other than ripped dicks, as he puts it. So think of a downside to our job that you're like, that's actually the worst part of it.
For me, it's more like a
something
self-discipline thing, but I just don't exercise as much as I should. I should do a little bit at least, and I don't, because
I know
it's so easy to become complacent in this situation, because if I was unemployed, I would just sit around and game all day. And now that I can make money sitting around gaming all day, I just sit around and game all day. Very rarely will I force myself to walk further than I absolutely need to. Like I walk my kids to and from school, and I do enough around like the house and stuff like that, but it's not nearly enough.
It's not exercise.
Yeah, I really should just be going for a long walk every day, or
Or something.
Going to the gym
They're
or
lifting
something.
But yeah. But here's the thing. I think a lot of people fail to realize that when you love your job and you work from home and it's fun, why would you just, like, when you go to the office, say, you fucking hate having to go to the office.
Yeah.
You hate having to go to work.
Mhm.
Going to the gym is a way to relieve tension and something to do on the way to or from work that is yours.
Yeah.
That's like take time that you're saying, no. I'm not just going to spend my entire day commuting to, working at, and then commuting from somewhere. I've also got stuff I do while I'm there for me. And one of those things is I go to the gym and I go maybe with some colleagues or my friends. And that's a way to do something that is reclaiming some of that time for yourself. I woke up this morning at 9:57, sat down, recorded this podcast. Then I'm going to go to the opticians. Then I have nothing to do for the rest of the day. And I still know that I'm not going to do the smart thing and do some exercise.
Yeah.
It's just too easy to be lazy.
Yeah.
I need a harder life.
Yeah.
I'll cut off
Great
one
point.
of my fingers. I'll cut that off.
Self-discipline is a massive problem. We are exactly the same as many people in this era where we are constantly being entertained all the time. And my partner's noticed this and sort of complained about it a bit in that I have to be doing something all the time. I go on a walk and I have to have a podcast on. I'm sitting at home on the sofa, and I have to have the telly on or I have to be on my phone, and she's telling me about her day. And suddenly, I don't even realize I'm doing it, but I'm like on my phone, and she's like, "What are you doing?"
Oh, that
and I'm
is rude.
I'm so sorry.
I've always had this
terrible
thing with time as well. And I remember even having this when I was younger. I used to play a lot of Diablo 2 when it came out, and around the time it came out, I was just starting college and stuff. And I remember I'd wake up in the morning, and I'd be like, okay, I have 6 hours where I can play Diablo 2 before I have to go. And I'd be like, oh, is that enough time? In my mind, I'm thinking oh, maybe that's not enough time. I need some more, whatever. And now as a much older adult, I still have thoughts like that, but it'll be around stupid stuff. I'll be oh, I got to pay my social security. Oh, fuck, I'm going to need to take a whole morning to really do that. And it takes 2 minutes to do. It's so stupid. But in my mind, I'll be oh, fuck, it's going to take forever. It's going to take way more time or whatever. Because it's something I don't want to do. But then if there's something I want to do, I'm really sort of precious about the time. Even if I have tons of time to do it, I'll be oh, fuck that. Maybe that's not enough time or whatever. I don't know. Maybe there's it's a very slight I don't know, not OCD, but I don't know. There's some sort of weird anxiety around timings or something like that in 100%. My mind. I don't know. It's weird.
We all have a little bit of that, right? And I think as creators, I think I think it's different for guys and girls. I think girls struggle with the idea more that there's some being famous is a peril in itself, right? With creepy people out there, and you're more likely to run into, it's a very low chance that you'll run into any trouble, but you're more likely than just an average person off the street. But then again, who knows? If you work in a cafe, maybe that you'll have a stalker. It's
different for women too.
It's not immune. But it's very different for women. But I think also there's so many little things about this industry that people know from doing it will bother them, and it's I don't know, it's just it's not as it's hard to complain about, but
I don't really have any complaints. It's just you're in your moment, right? You have your pyramid of needs and stuff. So I'll complain about things that other people will say, oh my god, why is he complaining about that? But that my day to day, especially if I don't stop and really think about it. My
socks didn't arrive. How am I supposed to jerk off today?
If I'm just
that's my afternoon ruined.
If I'm in a flow and I'm not thinking about anything other than what I need to do or my immediate sort of what I'm doing or whatever, then I probably will complain about really stupid things that other people think are stupid. People that are at different points in their lives or whatever, careers or whatever, will complain about different things or whatever.
Indeed.
Everyone has their own
Can we stop?
Yeah.
I have
sorry,
to
that's
go.
enough.
I'm so sorry. Thank
go
you
get your
for
eyes,
all
go
your
get
emails.
your eyes tested.
We will see you guys next time.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Goodbye.
We love you.